tucked away.
There's a touch, there's a strike, there's a goal!
That's great feet. Oh, what a delightful goal.
Good ball in. Oh, yes. And it's Vinicius Mello.
Wow.
Ramadan. Oh, yes. What a strike in the top corner.
Oh, there's a strike and there's a goal. It's the Brazilian Calcanado.
Scores with ease.
A wonderful penalty.
Oh, there's a chance. There's the goal.
What a finish.
And it's in for 4.
Hello everybody and welcome. We are live on AbuDhabi Sports and yes, it's that time of the season again. It's one of those dates we circle in the calendar very early. It's the Abu Dhabi Derby, Al Jazira against Al Wahda. Coming into this particular Abu Dhabi Derby, just a point separates them in the Adnoc Pro League and only Al Jazira have lost one game this season in the league. Al Wahda remain unbeaten, so an intriguing night ahead at the Mohammed bin Zayed Stadium. With me, of course, in the studio here, we have the, well, legend of UAE football, Ibrahim Diaki, and also the walking encyclopedia of UAE football, Pedro Correa. We'll get their pre-match thoughts very shortly, but first, let's go straight over live to the Mohammed bin Zayed Stadium, where Amy Gillingham, of course, is there for us on the spot. And Amy, as I'm explaining, this Abu Dhabi Derby already, even though it's early in the season, has a lot riding on it.
Absolutely, Graham, and welcome to the Mohammed bin Zayed Stadium, everyone. It's a capital derby, a huge game in the Adnoc Pro League calendar, and it really is one of the first blockbuster games of match week 5. There are a fair few that are very important this week, as is every game of the season, but in particular, Al Jazira up against Al Wahda. Two teams enriched in rivalry, going head-to-head for the 33rd time. Historically, Al Wahda have got the better of Al Jazira, with 13 wins to Al Jazira's 9 and 10 draws between the two sides. I mean, it's a game that many look forward to, and with that, there's plenty of supporters for both Al Wahda and Jazira making their way into the stadium. Now, both have already demonstrated their class this season, and they are really showing that they are true contenders for the title in the Adnoc Pro League. And with that, the rivalry is just building even more. And of course, Al Jazira currently sat in 4th on 7 points, and Al Wahda unbeaten in 3rd with 8 points. So very close when it comes to where they are placed in the table, which again just adds to that rivalry and the importance of tonight's game. Yes, it is early on in the season, but every point matters in the Adnoc Pro League. So coming into tonight's game, Al Jazira on the back of a 4-0 win against Banyas, Al Wahda with a 5-2 victory against Al Dhafra. Of course, they were both Abu Dhabi derbies, but tonight just has the rivalry edge of the capital derbies, that's for sure. Now, with regards to team news, Nabil Fakir is out of action for Al Jazira, but new signing Simone Banza, he's on the bench and potentially going to make his debut here tonight. Former Trabzonspor centre forward, and he could just make the difference in that final third. And talking of final thirds for Al Wahda, Zayed Ahmed, their goalkeeper from last week and pretty much for most of this season, is out of action due to his red card last weekend. So it's going to be a bit of a loss for them, but it's a brilliant opportunity for Mohamed Al Shamsi in goal in a very important game. Also, for both head coaches, it is their first taste of the capital derby. Both are Marino Puzic and also Jose Moraes. So for them, it's going to be a statement game, and both are going to want the 3 points and also bragging rights.
Thanks very much, Amy. Just before you go, we're talking about some of those new faces on the bench there. You're mentioning Al Jazira have made a new purchase. It could change their style of play tonight very much.
Absolutely, and of course last week we saw how important the likes of Bruno de Oliveira was, and also Milo. So it'll be interesting to see if Simone Banza does come on, how the dynamics change in that final third for Al Jazira.
Wonderful, thank you very much. Amy Gillingham there live for us at the Mohammed bin Zayed Stadium. Of course we will go back to her definitely after the game. She always gets those exclusive first reactions from the key figures in the match. So, before I get the thoughts of Ibrahim and Pedro in the studio, here's a bit more about the history of this Abu Dhabi derby. One of the biggest games in any season is the Abu Dhabi derby between Al Jazira and Al Wahda. This time, the sides meet separated by just 1 point in the Adnoc Pro League table. Both sides have 2 wins to their names, but Al Wahda remain unbeaten in the league so far. And both clubs are coming off impressive wins last week. Al Wahda dominated Al Dhafra and claimed a 5-2 win.
Oh, nicely taken, that's great feet. Oh, what a delightful goal.
While Al Jazira went to Banias, scored 4 goals without reply and came away with 3 points.
Ramadan, oh yes! What a strike in the top corner.
Both teams have now scored 7 league goals, with Omar Kribin getting 3 of Al Wahda's and Fakir and Vinicius getting 2 each for Al Jazira. A win for either side tonight could see either team go joint top of the table, and in this early part of the season, keeping pace with the other title contenders is the top priority. It's not just about the bragging rights, it's important for both of these sides, if they are genuine title contenders, to get maximum points tonight. Al Jazira at home against Al Wahda, one of the big fixtures of the season and any season in the Adnoc Pro League. Will be live at the Mohammed bin Zayed Stadium for kickoff. Your commentator tonight will be Joe Morrison. And we also are continuing the wonderful new tradition we've had in the last couple of seasons, international refereeing teams coming in. And tonight, Serdar Gozubiuk, I think I've got that right, Dutch referee, he's coming in to take charge. It'll be fascinating to see how he gets on and how he interacts. It's always great when they do sort of swap the refereeing teams and we get some new faces coming in. But this is the state of the table at the moment. Kalba have just had a sensational win themselves at Corsican, which means they are now joint top on points with Shabab Al Ahly and Al Ain. But as you can see, our match of the week, the 2 teams, Al Wahda and Al Jazira, just a point separates them. Ibrahim, you've played in this fixture many times for Al Jazira, of course. It's a different ball game, isn't it, coming into this game? The mental state of things, the excitement, the bragging rights, it's your near neighbours, so much history. This is just a different football game from all the others.
Yes, Grant, definitely. This is the derby of the capital, so it's very important game from both sides. 2 teams that are coming out from the great victories from last week. Al Wahda winning 5-2 against Dhafra and Jazira winning against Benias 4-0. So both teams are very confident. And as I say, it's the derby of the capital. That game is so important for both teams. So, and it brings me memories that when I was preparing for that game, you have that, you are a bit anxious. You want to do well the next day. You prepare well in the hotel, and you can wait you can wait for the game to start because you want to prove, you want to show, and win that game for your team. So I think both teams are aware of their task today. It will be a very tough game because from both sides there is qualities, and the 2 new coaches coming into the team, they want to show that they're able to make a great result with their team. So very, very interesting game to see.
Pedro, obviously they want to get the points and the league and all that kind of stuff as well. But it's kind of because of the rivalry between these 2 sides. If you get the win and the rest of your season doesn't pan out, you can still look back and say, yeah, but we won the Abu Dhabi Derby.
It is a league within the league.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. The same for Al Wasl against Al Nasser. We have many of these derbies in the Adnoc Pro League. Yes, it's true. And right now, Graham, I believe it's more about psychology than mathematics, because a win, whomever wins will have the 3 points. But it's mostly the psychological advantage right now more than the points themselves. I think it's always important in such an early stage of the season for a team that wants to fight for the title to win these types of matches, precisely for that morale boost that will give to the team. With these two teams here tonight, I think Al Wahda comes to this match, arrives to this derby in a better position, more solid. No defeats yet, same coach since the start. I feel like they are more consistent as we speak. On the other hand, Jazira last week had a very good match, also a derby against Banias, and they have an interesting new signing coming in. Let us see what happens.
And aside from that opening day defeat for Al Jazira in the league, a 3-2 defeat, you know, it's been very solid from them ever since. So if you kind of discount the first match week of the season, they've almost had identical seasons so far, these two clubs.
Yeah, definitely. They're trying to prove that they need to get back to their level, because it was not easy the way how they started the season. And I feel like now we see a different Jazira who is more organized, who was playing very compact. And the problem that they had before, we spoke about it many times, it was the quick transition. And we can see that the big improvement on that side. And I can see that some players even doing some sacrifice, for example, playing in the position they are not supposed to be, like Ramadan. Normally he's a playmaker, but the coach using him on the left flank, but he's doing a terrific job there. So a great job there. And I feel like it's a new Jazira that we are seeing there. There is a lot of progress into the team. And I feel like it will not be easy game, because on the other side, you have an Al Wahda who is two-time, I would say, more organized. They're very compact also. And the discipline into the team, the tactical discipline, the player, they make sure that everything the coach will tell them to do, they're doing it perfectly, and that might create a problem for Jazira. And I want to go back to in the history, on the last 5 years, Al Wahda is leading on the winning side.
Yeah.
So I think maybe Jazira will stop that today. Let's see what will happen.
I think it's the last 9 games in the league that Al Wahda haven't been beaten by Al Jazira. In terms of goal scorers though, Pedro, obviously we know Omar Kribin at Al Wahda is their main goal scorer. Krupski got a couple of goals in their last match as well. It's been the one sort of Achilles heel that people have had about Al Jazira so far this season. They lost Ramon Mires over the summer. Obviously Ali Mabkut went the summer before, but now maybe they've solved the problem. He's on the bench tonight, but a lot rides on this new arrival.
Simon Banza, I believe you're talking about Simon Banza. Yes, I know him very well from the Portuguese league. It's an interesting signing on my view. First, I think it's a player with a very good quality, but with completely different characteristics from the forwards Jazira has right now in their squad, namely Vinicius Melo and Bruno. Simon Banza will eventually can be compared more with Laba. Some similar characteristics like physical presence and strength, physical presence on the box. So Jazira will now have a proper striker on the box and not just central forwards coming in. They will have a striker, a target man, an aerial reference also. Simon Banza, unlike Bruno and Vinicius Melo, if we want to compare with the players they have right now, it's not the player that you will play with, it's a player that you must play for. You must feed him. Mostly high crosses, balls for the finish. Is the last man of the last touch. Not as much to get too much involved in the build-up, even though he can help. For example, a long ball in the back of the defense. He's strong. He will give a fight to the central defenders. But his characteristics are different from the players they have. So I wonder how Jazira will somehow adapt the deliveries, because they have good wing play, mostly on the left, how they will adapt to that.
Okay, well, let's look at the Al Jazira lineup as it's going to be to start the game. Like you say, he's going to start on the bench, so they're kind of starting with their, should we say, more traditional pattern of play at the moment, Ibrahim. But this is still an excellent team that has put in some really good performances this season.
Yeah, it's the same team like the previous game against Benias. Yeah. There's no any change. I think the coach, he saw that the game against Benias was really good for them, and they started very well. They were very confident from the beginning of the game till the end. And two players I would like to highlight also, Richard Akono and Rabi. They're doing very well on the wings because they're providing more offensive action for offensive and defensive for Al Jazira, which sometimes was missing because they try to remember when they go up to always come back very fast, because the problem of Al Jazira before was that quick transition that was not being respected. So sometimes when the wings they were going up, they were opening the space in the back. But Richard Akono and Mohamed Rabi, they're doing that very well now. And of course, having the two controller like who decide in the midfield, who will put that balance. Mohamed El Nini and Koulibaly. Koulibaly is the one who will be more organizing to try to find the true passes, to try to feed the offensive line. And of course, Ramadan will be the one who will be the kind of, he will start on the left wing, but sometimes come into the midfield and try to feed, for example, Vinicius and the front line.
Okay, let's move on to Al Wahda then. All roads lead to Omar Kurbin, but it's, again, as you said, Krupski's got a couple of goals. Canedo, a player we know extremely well, he comes in, he can get goals from anywhere as well. Al Jazira are going to have to be really, really wary of this attacking lineup, especially Avedra. We know about Pimenta, Aldin's are here as well at the back, who are solid, and they've been around for a couple of seasons. I'm looking more up front here tonight.
Up front, those four players, Omar Kurbin, number 70, number 11, Krupski, number 10, Tadic, and number 7, Caio, against Al Dhafra, they created many problems. If Jazira gives them the space that they want and that they like, Jazira will have big problems. So Jazira must, whenever they are in the defensive process, must be very compact, because these four players, and this is their starting point.
Yeah.
But they move quite a lot.
Yeah.
Caio will show up everywhere. Krupski will show up everywhere.
They switch positions.
Both Omar Kurbin and Dusan Tadic will stay mostly in the middle, but they will also drift out wide. So it's a nightmare. You cannot mark man-to-man. You need to be very careful with the zonal marking, and you need to be very proactive defensively, because if they wait and they don't try to anticipate and to be consistent, then Al Wahda can create many problems, because again, you never know where they are going to show up. Caio, despite his age, is playing very well lately. A very interesting adding to Al Wahda, and Dusan Tadic has a quality of his own, not to mention, of course, Omar Kurbin, that we know him very well.
But I would like to add also something on what Pedro said. You know, the compatibility and the connection between the four players is really amazing. They're doing a lot of 1-2s, and they know how to find each other in the field, and that might be a big problem for Jazira.
Also looking at the picture there of Jose Moraes, what a job he's done. When he came in, he wasn't quite the manager that people were expecting to take over Al Jazira, but he's done an exceptional job.
Yeah, when he signed for Wahda, we knew about his work in Korea with Jambuk, where he got the Champions League. In Saudi also with Hilal, he did a good work. But yes, it was somehow unexpected. But I think he's understanding quite well how can he operate the team with the players he has. And then he has also, he's using a lot the flanks also with the fullbacks. Curiosity that both are Portuguese tonight, Guga on the right and Ruben on the left, mostly Ruben on the left. Ruben can use both feet, so it's a problem. He can either take the cross with the left, or he can cut inside and take the shot with the right, and this is also something that eventually might be important throughout the match. I think he's doing a very good work. Of course, time is needed. This last match with Dhafra was amazing. Many, and I said this yesterday on Final Score, many credits to Dhafra, to the way they played, the positive approach to the game. But the match before for the Champions League against Saudi Al Ittihad, it's those types of matches that, again, it's just 3 points. They have not won anything except for a match, but it's those kinds of matches that can boost your morale for a season.
The confidence they would have got out of that, incredible. Speaking of coaches then, let's hear from both of them pre-match.
Good evening, everyone. Obviously, a big game tonight, a derby, and like always, we're looking forward to play these kind of games, of course. Games with a lot of emotions. There will be a lot of people in stadium, so that's very nice. And I hope we will make them happy and proud tonight, all together. Thank you all.
So today is a derby of Abu Dhabi, and in general is a beautiful game to see. As a coach, I hope that all the intervenients can give a good show for the people that is coming to watch this game.
Apart from, obviously, they've been scoring goals they both scored loads of goals in the last game. They haven't been scoring freely in the games up until then. They've been getting their wins, they've been getting draws. They haven't been conceding goals as well. Both teams, this is. But coming into this game, do you see this starting out as cagey, or does this start out as a normal Abu Dhabi derby and it's crazy from minute one?
No, definitely. From the beginning, we will see two teams who will be really engaged. They will go because if you take both teams, they can create opportunities, and that's what I like about from the last two games that they play. The last game they play from Wahda side and from Jazira side. You have a player like Ibrahim Adel. We don't mention him a lot, but he's doing a lot on the right wing, taking a lot of time, take the ball to try to reach the box or try to go 1v1. To try to make the difference. And you can find the other on the same side also. Caio will probably be doing that. Facundo is the type of player also who can take the ball and try to reach the box for the finishing. And both sides, they have a great offensive line, and it will be really interesting to see how they will manage to do to make the difference tonight.
Looking back in the history, we just mentioned it, Al Jazeera, recent history in this fixture is not great for them. Does feel a bit different coming into this. It does feel much more on a level footing.
Yeah, these matches, Graham, I believe and I feel like they are a bit like finals. The feeling is a bit the same. So what happened, it's interesting for us to discuss here and to understand that, yes, has been a long time since Jazira had their last win against Wahda in the league. But at the same time, that is the past, and tonight is another opportunity, and anything can happen, and we know that in the Adnoc Pro League that happens quite a lot. Surprises happen quite a lot, and these types of matches, any score will not be a surprise, because even me as a commentator, I've seen amazing things. I remember one time, I cannot remember now exactly which year it was, but it was not long ago, even though Sebastian Tagliabo was still playing for Wahda back then. Many players were sent off right in the first half, like 3 players, I believe, 2 for one side and 1 for another. And at some point, then more players were sent off, and I was feeling like eventually the match would not finish because it was really very intense. You know, it was not like it was violent; it was not the case, but it was very aggressive, very intense. And the players were taking 2 yellow cards because they were trying to get the ball quickly and try to win the match. So this is the type of the profile of match we might have here tonight.
In terms of the league situation, Ibrahim, they're 3-4 points off the top of the league at the moment. We've got Al Ain up there, we've got Shabab Al Ahli, Calborough are now up there as well. How important is it that for either side that they get their 3 points tonight? Because a 2-point gap, a 3-point gap with those big teams, it's going to be hard to make up, even though it's still early in the season.
Yes, I just saw the league table previously. Very interesting, and this is good. That's what we want. That's the Adnoc Pro League. You can see that the difference of the points are not that big. It's just 1 point or 2 point difference. So the teams, they know how important it is for them to win, to stay on the top. And so definitely this is a decisive game. It's a derby of the capital. Both they are aware of the weaknesses and the strength of each other. So it won't be an easy game. They all know that it's very important to win that game to be on the top. So I feel like today we will see a great game.
So before we hand over to Joe Morrison, Pedro, what are you expecting to see first 45 minutes?
mutual respect, but not defensive play from both sides. I think, and I believe it can be a fairly open match. I'm just curious to understand if Al Jazira's coach, Marino Pusic, will put Ramadan number 7 on the right-hand side of Jazira to try to block Ruben, because he did that previously in the match with Banias. Ramadan was at times playing open wide on the right and blocking that left-hand side. And I'm wondering if he will do that again tonight, adding Bruno and Vinicius Melo in the middle, one as a central forward and the other as a secondary striker. This is my curiosity just before the start of the match.
And also, just curiously, Ibrahim, you know this fixture so well as we know. In the tunnel, when you're standing next to Al Wahda, are you having a look at the players, or are you dead focused ahead?
Yeah, of course. You are first of all focused on the game, and but it's important also to see your teammate, to see in their eyes what they're feeling. Maybe they're a bit scared, or because it's a derby, there is a bit of pressure. So sometimes you look at your teammate and to see not only the opponent, also your teammate, to see if he's okay and if he's feeling good. Then you can give him a quick pep talk to try to motivate him for the game. So it's normal.
Okay, thank you very much, chaps. Let's go over then to the Mohammed bin Zayed Stadium. It is the Abu Dhabi derby, Al Jazira at home against Al Wahda. Your commentator for this one is Joe Morris.
Of course, the next 90 minutes, whether it will be thumbs up come the final whistle. And that tifo featuring the new Jazira coach. I say new, he arrived this summer from Shakhtar, Marino Pusic, the Dutchman. Facundo Krupski looks like he's ready to go. I'm ready to go. I hope you're ready to go. Settle down, get comfortable. This could be a bumpy ride tonight. All we hope for, no matter who you support, is goals. Goals galore. Both games featuring these two sides last season in the league finished in draws. It was a 2-2 draw in one fixture and 0-0 in the other. So maybe that's what we can expect, perhaps. As we can hear a Viking clap echoing around the Mohammed bin Zayed Stadium, and it's coming from the away end to my right. That end that you can see there, the Maroons are the ones who are making all the noise right now. In 1984, 41 years ago, since Al Wahda was founded. The referee tonight is Mr. Sedar Guzebuyuk from Turkey. He will take charge of this fixture. And the VAR official is from Brazil. And this is how Al Wahda line up tonight. A very defensive midfield for Jose Moraes, Jadson de Silva, Mohamed Rasool at double pivot in midfield, both of them defensive midfielders really. Fly the flag. And this is the substitutes for tonight. Al Wahda, of course, have one eye on that Champions League game that they've got against Tractor of Iran, and that is next Monday. So by playing this fixture this Wednesday evening, it gives them plenty of time and gives Jose Moraes plenty of time to get his squad recovered for that game, as we see Marino Pusic, the Jazira coach, take his spot in the dugout. And there is Jose Moraes. I wonder how much thought he has given to that game against Tractor in the ACL Elite, the Asian Champions League Elite Series next Monday night. Mohamed Elneny is ready. The fans here in the stadium are ready. I'm ready, and we're underway. Match day 5 of the Adnoc Pro League. Omar Kabin not just leading his side out, but he will be leading the line up front as well for Wahda tonight. Supported by that trio of KO, the Brazilian who arrived from Al Wasl in the summertime. And an early ball that tests the Jazira defence. And Mohamed Rabil had to be alert in this opening minute of the game, and he was. Isn't that Viking clap behind the Jazira goal wonderful? Ooh, a little bit of hesitation from the Al Wahda goalkeeper. Mohamed Al Shamsi. He came for that. Lucas Pimenta had second thoughts. This was the foul by the Brazilian. So I think that's just the nature of the occasion, isn't it? Big game, big derby match, a lot of noise in the stadium. It's going to be a free kick on that far side. You can see Ruben Felipe quickly taken, thumped away by Mohamed Rabil. He's been a little bit busy in this opening couple of minutes. Facundo Krupski being boxed into that corner, surrounded by 2 white shirts, and he's won the corner kick that I think will be taken by Dusan Tadic. Is this going to be a little short one? It is. Tadic is the receiver. And there you see Mohamed Al Shamsi, so far out of his area. Felipe. Another free kick on that far side, and on this occasion, Wahda want a card. I don't think they're going to get it. I think the Turkish referee will refrain, certainly this early in the game, from dishing out a yellow. But it was Tadic who was brought down. Now, what's it going to be? The left foot or the right foot? The in-swinger, perhaps. There's a smoke machine behind Ali Khashayev's goal. I don't know if that's interfering with his senses. But it's so windy tonight. We've had a shamal here in the United Arab Emirates throughout the course of today. So high winds, blustery conditions, good for flags. A very good day if you've got a flag or a kite, not a good day if you've got a wig. Elneny, cool, calm, that experience at Arsenal showing through from Mohamed Elneny. Ali Kashaif under a little bit of pressure. Al Jazira eventually clear their lines. Jadson. At the moment, it's still Al Wahda on the front foot. Still Al Wahda putting pressure on the men in white. That long ball looking for Ibrahim Adel. Indicating to the linesman that he feels there was a handball in there somewhere, I think by Richard O'Connor. Wahda at the moment have a man down in the shape of Guga Oliveira. He's back on his feet, didn't need any attention. Mohamed Elneny. Oh, Mohamed Elneny is clutching his hamstring. He's looking for assistance. Meanwhile, Wahda are testing Ali Kashaif, who immediately... Well, I thought he was going to kick that straight into touch. He didn't. He kicked it downfield, Ali Kashaif. I think his intention was to kick it into touch, but I think the night is done, possibly, for the Egyptian Mohamed Elneny. He immediately went to ground when he received that ball, clutching his hamstring. There you see it. And the reaction tells the whole story. I think he could be done. Meanwhile, down on the touchline in front of me, I can see Dusan Tadic changing his boots. One of the backroom staff has brought out his other boots, so maybe he's slipping and sliding a little bit. Not comfortable, so he's opting to change, whilst Mohamed Elneny, the 33-year-old Egyptian, looks like he may have to go off. He immediately clutched his hamstring as soon as he felt it. Big drum for little boys. So it looks like Marino Pusic may be forced into an early substitution as the medical buggy is brought on. Let's have another look at it. There was no contact between him and Dusan Tadic. He must have just felt it. And yeah, I can see him limping as he's helped onto the medical buggy, which would therefore indicate that it's all over very early in the game, and that's a shame. That's a shame for Mohamed Elneny. So there will be a bit of a reshuffle here, whoever comes on. I'm just trying to have a look to see who they are prepping to come on. Al Jazira, but temporarily they could be down to 10 men. Marino Pusic has been in deep discussion with his staff. The Turkish referee has gone over to Ali Kashif. I think Ali Kashif was going to take that as a goal kick, but the Turkish referee wants it as a drop ball instead. So we're back underway. Al Jazira are down to 10 men because of that injury to Mohamed Elneny, and it looks like it's going to be Khalifa El Hamadi coming on as we see the forlorn Mohamed Elneny sitting down in the dugout. But right now, Khalifa is busy taping his wrist. Still 0-0, 10 minutes gone here at the Mohammed bin Zayed Stadium. Oh, that's good work from KO. He needs support, though. And too many white shirts in the end. So, Al Jazira, one man short in midfield, and that's as a result of the defensive midfielder Mohamed Elneny being stretchered off with what looks like a hamstring tear. Nodded away by Richard O'Connor. And for this opening 10 minutes, Al Jazira have been pegged back in their own half by Al Wahda. They've had the better of the game so far, the visitors. No breakthrough yet, though, and they haven't, despite their dominance, tested Ali Kashif yet. The referee says, get up, to Mohamed Rasool. He went down on the edge of that area, and that's going to be a foul against Ruben Felipe. And there is confirmation of the early change. Khalifa El Hamadi coming on. Mohamed Elneny stretchered off. And I'm just having a look. Khalifa Hamadi has slotted straight into that defensive midfield role that was occupied by Mohamed Elneny, so it's like for like. Now he has a chance. Omar Kabin, can he get the shot away? No is the answer. The flag had gone up anyway. Tadic it was who eventually pulled the trigger, but well, you see Omar Kabin just straight offside. Should he have pulled the trigger earlier, though? It wouldn't have counted anyway, but I think he just got the ball stuck under his feet a little bit. Now it's the turn of Al Jazira to threaten the Al Wahda goal for the first time in this match. Adel. There's two maroon shirts in front of him. Abdullah Ramadan is being forced backwards, as are Jazira as a whole. O'Connor. Continued his run, Richard O'Connor. Ibrahim Adel bumped off the ball, but they still have possession, and they are still camped inside the Wahda half. It's cagey, as you would expect. Bruno Oliveira is clipped. And the first free kick for Al Jazira in that Wahda half. Jadson, the guilty party. Quickly taken. Lucas Pimenta just clears it in desperation. I don't think Al Wahda were set and ready for that. It was a quickly taken free kick by Abdullah Ramadan. Caught Wahda on the hop. Quarter of an hour almost on the clock. Neither goalkeeper Ali Kashaif or Mohamed Al Shamsi has had a shot to deal with yet. I find it strange to see KO in the colours of Wahda after being in the yellow, of course, of Al Wasl. Moved from Dubai to the capital here in the summertime. The Brazilian, who of course now has Emirati citizenship, has worn the colours of the United Arab Emirates as well, the 35-year-old. Well, the Turkish referee feels that Vinicius Melo made a meal of that. And looks like someone else is down. Is that Al Azir? Yeah, in that coming together with the Brazilian Vinicius Melo, I think he might have hurt himself. Oh, there you see his trailing leg was caught in a pincer as Vinicius Melo went to ground, and I think he could be hurt, Al Azir. It was unintentional from Melo. It certainly looked that way from the angles that we've seen so far. Referee. He's back on his feet, Al Azir, and he hasn't received any medical attention, so that would seem to indicate that he's okay to continue. But 25-year-old Tunisian, for a moment there, I imagine there was an element of worry from the Portuguese boss of Al Wahda, Jose Moraes. Of course, he'll have witnessed at close quarters his opposite number, Marino Pusic, being forced into an early substitution with the injury to Mohamed Elneny. That drum's not getting much action, is it? Not from what I can see. Wahda on the front foot, as they were in the first 10 minutes of this match. Pegging Jazira back. It's a little bit busy in that midfield. Very congested. Vinicius can't get a hold of that. Here's Guga. Given away by the Portuguese fullback. Now, both sides sloppy in possession, both sides turning the ball over, both sides giving it away. But I think that's just the occasion. Oops, careful. There you see. I'm surprised by that stat up in the top left there. I thought it would have been considerably more in favour of Wahda, the number of attacks, but 6-5. Jabin's won a free kick down in this corner, down to my right-hand side, just in front, or near, I should say, the Wahda fans behind that goal of Ali Kashif. And the first yellow of the game as well for Mamadou Koulibaly. It looks to me like Dusan Tadic is going to take this free kick. So that would seem to indicate, if the Serbian is standing over it, that it's going to be a left-footed in-swinger into that 6-yard box. And it's a good angle to have a go at that from here. Another summer arrival, of course, from Fenerbahce. Tadic goes directly for Ali Kashif, and he comfortably collects. Still 0-0. We've crossed the 21-minute mark here at the Mohammed bin Zayed Stadium. You're watching the Capital Derby this Wednesday night. Match day 5 of the Adnoc Pro League. That looked like an elbow in the face by KO on Richard O'Connor. Yeah, there you see that elbow catching the fullback, the young fullback, only 21 years old. Marino Pusic, who also arrived in the summer from Shakhtar. I love the sparkly ear studs. Who's going to sparkle here this Wednesday night? No one has yet, but then that could be the nature of the fixture, of course. A derby match between near neighbours. The passion. There you go. Yes, you! Yes, you! Me? We're back underway after Richard O'Connor has had treatment, and he's back on the field of play as well, so normal service can resume if you've just switched on. No goals as yet, as you can see. And unfortunately for Marino Pusic, he lost the services of Mohamed Elneny early on in this first half, as the Egyptian midfielder went down with what looks like a hamstring injury. Tadic. Al-Azir, he doesn't seem any worse for wear after that injury Ali Kashif receives that a little bit hot. The Emirati veteran. Like I said, 37 years old, Ali Kashif. Still going strong. Facundo Krupski being closely marked. Al Jazira last won the league back in 2021. Finished 7th last season, which is probably below the expectations of fans and management. A little bit of pressure here for that back line of Al Jazira, and they've turned the ball over temporarily. O'Connor, though, he too has been hounded by maroon shirts. Now there's an opportunity for Jazira to counter. Couldn't get the ball in, could they? Ruben Felipe comfortably dealing with that. There's a little bit of a lull midway through this first half. And like I say, you can feel the tension out there on the pitch between these two sides. No one really wants to make a mistake. No one really wants to take big risks. Not yet, anyway. Guga's lost the boot. Those boots look like slip-ons. Can you see laces? I can't see laces. They look, yeah, it is. No wonder. Can Guga tie laces? Maybe not. Another free kick in an even more dangerous position for Wahda. The Turkish referee feels that Mohamed Rabil was just a little bit too robust with that challenge on Facundo Krupski. And I imagine Tadic it will be to take it again. Jadson De Silva is also over there. He is the right footer. Dusan Tadic, of course, is the left footer. KO issuing some instructions. Is it going to be the right footer of Jadson? Looks like it. Tadic just stepped over that, and Tadic eventually takes it. Obviously a training ground move, punched away by Ali Kashif. Bruno Oliveira just caught the ball under his heels. Well, maybe too clever, that. It looked initially like there was a little bit of miscommunication between Jadson De Silva and Dusan Tadic, but something they've clearly worked on. All the way back to Mohamed Al-Shamsi, who's under a little bit of pressure, the Wahda keeper. Here's Guga. He goes down. Referee playing advantage at the moment. He's still down, Guga Oliveira. Wahda on the front foot. It's going to be a corner. Ruben Felipe winning that corner kick, and Ali Kashif, you have to say overall so far as we approach the half-hour mark, has been the marginally busier of the two goalkeepers. Using all his experience though to command that 6-yard box. It's going to be that double act again of Jadson De Silva and Dusan Tadic. Omar Kabin is the only Wahda player in the 6-yard area. There's plenty outside. Lucas Pimenta got a head on it. Tadic is going to get another go. Eventually the ball comes in. And the referee, he's calling for, is he calling for the stretcher? The referee, or for the medical staff? Oh no, sorry. He's calling for a water break, that's what he's calling for. The cooling break, as it's called, 35 degrees centigrade it is here in the capital, but it's dry. It's a very dry night tonight, following that shamal during the course of today. It's still har, though, as they say around here. Still hot enough for those boys out on the field this evening. A well-earned drink for both sets of players in this very tense game of fine margins. There you see the possession of Al Jazira, 43%, which shows you that Al Wahda have had the better of it. What? 43% and 58%. Don't make 100. Not when I was at school. Well, now the drum's going. Hey. Are you watching at home? Well, I hope you are. The Mohammed bin Zayed Stadium, the venue tonight for this capital derby. A few tense faces out there this evening. Don't be shy. Tactical formations, is that what they're discussing? Oh, Barcelona out. Where's the stewards? Right, the cooling break is over. We can resume the war of attrition between these two neighbours and rivals. And so far in this first half, it really has been a war of attrition, neither side with clear-cut chances on goal. Still 0-0 though, between Al Jazira and Al Wahda, as Ali Kashif gets things going again. Khalifa, who came on for the injured Mohamed Elneny. That ball over the top. Omar Kabin has gone down in the box, but the flag had gone up. Bit of a let-off in defence for Al Jazira. Omar Kabin, the Syrian striker of Al Wahda, working that back line as any good striker should. That's too long for Richard O'Connor. An apology from his teammate. 10 minutes, just over 10 minutes, plus stoppage time, of course, to go until the break. There's Guga Oliveira. If you've just joined me, it's third against fourth in the Adnoc Pro League table. Only a point and a place separating these two sides. There is the Wahda backroom staff. And, well, 3 points would be invaluable for either of these sides if they could walk away from here with victory. For Al Wahda, they would go top of the table, albeit temporarily, if obviously Alain and Shabab Al Ali, their fixtures have yet to come. But it would be a marker, it would be a statement of intent if Al Wahda could take 3 points away from the home of their neighbours and rivals. Adel, he's going to get another go at this. Ibrahim Adel. Two maroon shirts, though, corralling him. Khalifa. He's a long way from his central defensive, or his defensive midfield position, Khalifa, but making the most of the space that has come his way. Lucas Pimenta trying to marshal that Al Wahda defense, the Brazilian. Another who has now got UAE citizenship. Corner to Jazira. Their first corner of the game. And now it's the turn of Al Wahda to be tested. Jazira have got Bruno Oliveira standing right on top of Mohamed Al Shamsi just to be awkward, cause problems, get in the way of him. Corner comes in, near post, a little flick on for Vinicius Melo. He goes down. And eventually, Wahda are able to clear. I think Marino Pusic was possibly looking for a penalty. That's the inquisitive facial expression from the Dutchman. I'm sure the Turkish referee, Mr. Sedar Gozabuyuk, will have had a word in his ear from the VAR official, who tonight is Igor Junio de Oliveira. If the man upstairs watching the screens had felt it warranted a further look from where I'm sitting up here in the stands, it didn't look on first glance like it was worthy of a spot kick, but that was just first glance. Guga on the overlap. That's just a little bit too long for Ibrahim Adel. The Egyptian made the run, but couldn't quite get there. Let's have another look at it. The corner came in, the ball flicked on. Was it a penalty? Nothing that I could see in there. Was there possibly a handball before that ball arrived at the feet of Vinicius Melo? Ruben Felipe. They're waiting for his cross. It eventually comes in, and KO onto the roof of the net from Keo Canedo. He'd lost his marker in the shape of Richard O'Connor. Now, Vinicius going round in circles at the moment, Vinicius Melo, but he's still got possession. Goes down, get up, says the Turkish referee, despite the appeals of the young Brazilian. Mohamed Al Shamsi just making Vinicius Melo run. We're into the final 5 minutes of this first half. Like I said earlier, there'll be time to be added on for the injury to Mohamed Elneny, plus, of course, the drinks break. So, no indication yet, though, from the fourth official, but maybe 4 or 5 minutes. Koulibaly. He has Adel outside him. Gets the byline, Ibrahim Adel, and couldn't get it on target. Made a good run, didn't he? Continued his run, actually, Ahmed Koulibaly, but just couldn't guide that towards Mohamed Al Shamsi's goal. Wonderful feat from Tadic to release Ruben Felipe on that left-hand side. Kibin dropping deep for some possession. KO is looking for that, but straight into the palms of Ali Kashif. Adel, that's a tricky ball to deal with for Mohamed Al Shamsi, but he has dealt with it. Vinicius Melo at the moment is all alone up front for Jazira. I don't know if that's part of the plan for Marino Pusic, but hasn't received a lot of support. Tadic goes down. Play on, says the referee. Now, here's Vinicius Melo, who goes to ground! And the home support have a big appeal for a penalty, but the referee is not interested. He feels that Vinicius Melo dived. You make up your own mind. He's still down, holding his right knee, Vinicius Melo. And the Jazira bench are furious. Vinicius Melo showing Mohamed Al-Shamsi his injury. I don't think Mohamed Al-Shamsi's interested. That was the foul at the other end that Dusan Tadic felt aggrieved by, that nothing was given. And then this. Well, as we head towards the break, this will be the most talked about moment of the first half, no doubt about it. Lucas Pimenta it was, marshalling his fellow countrymen. There's going to be 5 minutes of time to be added on at the end of this first 45 minutes. Well, he can't be accused of being inconsistent. The Turkish referee waved away the appeal of Dusan Tadic and the Al-Wahda bench, and then waved away the more contentious appeal inside the Al-Wahda box from Vinicius Melo and the Jazira bench, of course, as well, who all leapt to their feet at the same time to call for a spot kick. Nothing given, though. And we are now into stoppage time at the end of the first half. Here is Tadic. That ball comes in from Felipe. Kali Kashif has spilled it. Omar Kabin, can he get a shot away? It's deflected in. Omar Kabin breaks the deadlock for Wahda. And they're ecstatic behind that Jazira goal. Oh, the joy. Ruben Felipe's cross wasn't dealt with by Ali Kashif. Omar Kaveen just sent his ball goalwards. And then the deflection off the leg. Of Ravil Tagia. Not a lot he could do about it. And Wahda have first blood. Oh, they're loving that. They are loving that. As far as Wahda are concerned, the captain, Omar Kabin, will claim it, but it will go down as an own goal. Ravil Tagia in stoppage time at the end of the first half. That goal breaking the deadlock here, which of course will give Marino Pusic something to think about in his team talk at half-time. He was maybe preparing something different prior to that ball going in the back of the net. And of course, what it means for any coach that goes behind is he's going to have to take more risks in the second half, which no doubt will give Wahda more opportunity. Wahda trying as best they can to press for an equaliser before the half-time whistle, and it's going to be a corner. Ibrahim Adel with a wicked ball. Lovely little back heel by Bruno Oliveira. The decision has been reversed. It's going to be a goal kick. I'm sure I saw the linesman on the far side point his flag to the corner spot, but the referee, I think, has overruled them. Jose Moraes, he wants it more compact. He, without question of a doubt, the Portuguese coach of Wahda will want to get into the dressing room with this 1-goal lead intact. Just seconds remaining of stoppage time at the end of this first half. Is Nabil Tagir in trouble, or was he just adjusting his shin pad? And there goes the half-time whistle. The young Turkish defender, Rabil Tagir, gifting Wahda the opener. With a deflection into the back of his own net. Ali Kashif it was who spilled the ball initially, led up to Omar Kabin's effort. But a shake of the head from the young Turkish defender as the players head down the tunnel. It's Wahda leading the home side, Al Jazira, by a 1-0.
Well, there you go then. It was all quiet, very tense for the opening 45 minutes, but in time added on before the end of that first half, we did get that first goal. Omar Kribin with the strike, but it goes down as an own goal from Rabil Tagir. And it was, well, he pounced onto the loose ball, sent it goalwards, and he got a couple of touches that he needed, and it's in the back of the net. But Al Jazira possibly will feel a little bit aggrieved to have given that away. They were pretty solid at the back for most of that first half. Both sides were, to be honest. That might be just as big a moment in the match as well, with Mohamed El Neni going off. He knew it straight away as well, didn't he? Clutching his hamstring. And hopefully it's not going to be a long-term injury for the former Arsenal man. Ibrahim and Pedro with me in the studio. Ibrahim, a cagey first half like we were expecting, and then just before that half-time whistle, Al Jazira could have equalised as well themselves. It all kind of happened. It was like they just realised it was about to be half-time. Let's have a little go.
Yeah, it was not a great first half, in my opinion. I think like this type of derby, they could do better, and I see that a lot of from both sides. They're missing a lot of balls easily, but I think maybe it's the fact that there is a bit of pressure. It's the derby, so but because the quality also of both teams doesn't allow them to miss a lot of passes like that. Obviously, with the last goal that Al Wahda scored, it might help in the second half to change the dynamic and the rhythm of the game.
You can see there from the stats, the possession almost identical. No shots on target, even though we've had a goal. I do like it when that stat pops up. But Pedro, the stats as well show how even it was throughout that game. Either side could have just got their noses in front at half-time.
Mostly Wahda. Wahda had a slight upper hand. I think, honestly, and I totally agree with what Ibrahim was saying, it was not a very good first half. I think, honestly, Al Nani's injury affected both teams in different ways, obviously, affected both teams. Because for Jazira, they are missing, and I'm very deeply sorry, because I'm somehow of a fan of Al Nani as a player. I think he's an amazing player, even though he's already 32, I believe, right now. He's an amazing player. And he helps Jazira a lot. He's very important because he's, I know Ali Hassif is the captain of the team, but he's the technical leader of the team. He's that player in midfield, and even sometimes when he acts as a central defender, who holds the ball whenever the team is in trouble. He sets the tempo, he controls Jazira's attacking operations. So he's very, very important. He's not just one player, he's a very special player for the team. And with his injury so early in the match, everything got a bit disrupted because then Jazira moved to a backline of 5 instead of backline of 4. That took some space out from Wahda, because basically Wahda, and again this is in theory, The tactical draw was saying Wahda was playing with 4 front players, 2 on the side, 2 in the middle, against 4 defenders, and then they start playing 4 against 5. So Jazira on one side blocked and contained the damage, and I think Marino Pusic might have done well there. But then on the other hand, complicated the whole game for both teams. Let's see what will happen now in the second half.
And when that injury was happening, Ibrahim, we were sort of quickly discussing what we think the choices are going to be made to bring people on. Al Hamadi, he was an interesting decision to replace El Neni with, wasn't he?
Yes, of course, he's a very important player for Al Jazira. As Pedro mentioned, he's the type of player who can boost the motivation of his teammate with his experience and the strength that he has, the leadership that he has in the team. Him going out at the 7 minutes of the game, of course, he can play on the morale of his teammates. But I could see one thing, even if it was not a great first half, from El Wahda side, we saw multiple actions. They're trying. And also from Jazira side, a couple of actions. But I feel like both teams, they need to make more effort. We were seeing a lot of ball being missed easily. So I think with the quality that both teams they have, they could do better half than this one.
Yeah, we were seeing a lot of passes not being completed, a lot of miscontrol in the middle of the pitch as well. It was unlike both of those sides.
Jazira now has one player less whenever they go out and they build up. They lack a little bit of fluidity. They are searching a lot. Ibrahim Adel on the left, Bruno, half spaces, Vinicius Melo, but the link is not there. You're missing the quality of a player like El Neni. Of course, Jazira has other very good players, but as I said before, I feel like both teams got confused. Both teams had a certain game plan. That game plan was established, and they started the match with that game plan. But then with that injury and with Jazira changing the tactical setup, everything got a little bit scrambled. Still, I believe Al Wahda was slightly better, and right now Al Wasl is slightly better because they have a different circumstance from Jazira. Jazira already changed the coach, is changing some players. Now has this setback of Al Nani. So Al Wahda is in a different situation, and of course they can build up on that. Now coming into the second half, I think they will have more opportunities.
With that last goal, I'm pretty sure that the second half will be much better. Because as Pedro mentioned, he's totally right. You can see that they're losing completely in the midfield that ball possession, because Al Jazira has one of the best ball possession in the league. And El Neni and Koulibaly both together there, they have that... they can control the midfield. They can feed the offensive line and all. But El Neni going out, there is a little loss there in the midfield for Jazira. And it might be dangerous for them because dropping back, playing with 5 defenders, you're opening the midfield. And El Wahda, they have the player in the second half that can be using the midfield to try to make the difference. So I think Coach Marino Pusic, he should see that it's important to put an extra player who can play to feed the offensive line, to have more actions. Because until now, since the beginning, I see that El Wahda who is taking more risk.
Yeah.
So probably, I believe that with that goal that got scored last minute, the second half will be much better.
And as we were saying before kickoff, for Al Jazira, they kind of don't have that main focal point up front. They have Bruno, who tends to go a bit wide. Vinicius Melo also tends to go a bit wide. So, but we do have this new option off the bench that I'm sure we're going to see in the second half. On the other side of that, Al Wahda, it's very clear where their attacks are coming from, and it's sort of structured more obviously with Al Wahda what's going to happen. With Al Jazira, I think they're still kind of trying to work out what their best attacking option really is.
I believe Al Wahda might drop a little bit on the pitch, not become a defensive team, not that, but more cautious team to try to provoke, because Jazira will not want to lose this match, regardless of all the setbacks they are having. They don't want to lose the match. So I agree with Ibrahim. The match will probably be a lot more open in the second half, and Jazira, as time is going by, will feel the pressure to try to at least equalize. And I believe Wahda will somehow play with that. On the other hand, Jazira bringing on Simon Banza is, especially being trailing. I think it's almost an obvious move.
Yeah.
I don't know honestly how much can he play right now. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Plus, there's another problem, Graham. It's just what we have been discussing during this halftime. If Jazira is struggling to get the ball up front, okay, they bring on the striker, but they must find a way to feed that striker.
To bring to them,
yeah.
That is the problem.
Let's take a look at the options then from both sides. We're looking at number 9. We're talking a lot about him, Simon Banza. As you say, Pedro, we're not sure how fit he is, how much he can actually get involved today. Options on both sides, very much so. Who else do you think both sides are going to be calling on?
From our side, I think JD is a good, technically he's a very comfortable. He has great through passes also, and I think he can help in the front line. And also Kofi Dumpel, he can take the ball and go 1v1 and make some good crosses. So from Jazira side, I feel these two players can come in and change, because for the coach, he has to make that player. He has to put that player who can feed the offensive line. If he doesn't, he will have more pressure from El Wahda, because El Wahda is not holding back. They keep going forward. And I think putting a midfielder that can give the ball to the strikers. And probably if Simon come in second half, we might see a different level of or dynamic of the game.
For Al Wahda, Pedro, a lot of options, as we say. Number 38, Arnaud Predas, young, extremely talented player. He's already scored a wonder goal this season, hasn't he? He's the kind of player that if Al Jazira does get tight defensively, he's got the skill to kind of unlock them, hasn't he?
An agitator, a man coming in from La Masia, Barcelona school. But it's not all. Brahima Diarra, a very useful player coming on from the bench. He can be used in several different positions on the pitch. They have a lot more options right now, honestly, than Jazira. For the midfield, also Abdullah Hamad to change. I think Jose Moraes will now also play, of course, with the score, with the yellow cards, because this type of derbies, things can go wrong at any point in time. He will also manage the yellow cards and the fitness levels, because on the other hand, Al Wahda has more matches already than Jazira. Al Wahda has played already 7 official matches against only 4 from Jazira. So there's a difference here in terms of the fitness levels that I believe you will have to manage somehow.
That is another very valid point, Ibrahim, that Pedro makes there about Al Wahda. They have got one eye on early next week. They're playing their next Asian Champions League elite game after a terrific first round game. Does that play into the thinking tonight, or do you just have to forget about that tonight?
Yeah, of course it's normal, because they're preparing already the next game, which is the Champions League. So beside that, even having the derby, what a perfect timing for them because it's a great game, again, especially playing against a team like a Jazira, who has a great ball possession and they have quality players. So it's very important for Al Wahda to take this game as a test to be ready for the Champions League game.
Which would make Al Jazira even more determined, because they don't have those extra games to play. Their focus can be very much on the league, so they're even more determined to get these points tonight. Maybe?
Yes, because they will go through a break for the international break before the league restarts. It will be also an opportunity for the coach to have, let's say, a second pre-season, his first pre-season. Eventually to recover Mohamed Al Nani. I'm not a physiotherapist or a doctor, but these types of injuries usually take a bit of time, correct, Ibrahim?
Definitely.
Muscle might take a little bit of time to heal, hopefully not too much. And within 1 month we might have a different Jazira, now with a new striker, with a new coach having this time to work with the players. Also Omar Traoré, we have not talked about Omar Traoré is out. So there are here many things coming into play on the Jazira side for the upcoming 3 weeks.
But I kind of understand Coach Marino position, because it's his first derby, and he came out from a 4-0 win against Benias. So he want to keep, I believe that he want to keep that winning streak, you know. So it's not because he's a bit afraid of Al Wahda, but he doesn't want to take that risk. That's what I saw in the first half. But he has to take the responsibility and the decision to put a player who can really feed the offensive line. Otherwise, it will be a problem for them in second half.
And having those players on the bench and not using them, not testing them in this kind of match as well, that's the kind of thing that gets remembered in future games, isn't it?
Yeah, because Jazira has good young talent.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about their quality, but I'm talking about their experience. They lack experience in these types of matches. Of course, you only get that experience playing. It's a different circumstance. I totally agree with Ibrahim when he says the coach, when he lost Al-Nani, because Al-Nani, even though he was playing in the midfield, is the kind of player, as he's experienced and intelligent and with his qualities, he can read the game well enough to know when to drop and help out in the back, when to move forward. He knows how to read the moments of the game. Bringing on Khalifa was to try to close the door on Wahda, and as I said before, 4 against 5, to close the door, and this is in theory what should be done. Now coming into the second half, 1 goal behind, at some point things will have to change eventually. And eventually, not only Simon Banza, but some of the other young players like Kofi might have to be brought on to try to do something different.
So Jazira obviously now have to chase the game coming out in the second half. At what point do they become more offensive and perhaps leave gaps at the back? At what stage of the game do you start to do that if they don't get the equaliser early on? Yeah, the coach he obviously is looking for the win. So in second half, he will try to open the game, but which might be very dangerous for him because Al Wahda, they have the players who can really make the difference. Tadic, Facundo, they have this compatibility, as I say, the connection that is sometimes very difficult for the opponent to stop them. And they don't have a choice. They have to go out there to try. If they really want the 3 points, they have to open. And if they open, they become a bit vulnerable. So we will see. I'm sure we will see a different second half. Okay, thank you very much, chaps. As you can see, the two teams back out on the pitch of the Mohammed bin Zayed Stadium. We will be back at full time with Amy Gillingham, Get Reaction, Joe Morrison, the commentator.
45 minutes. And Al Wahda leading, courtesy of that Ravil Tagir own goal at the very end of the first half. It was a tense, tight affair, but already they're under pressure, Al Wahda. I imagine the half-time team talk from Marino Pusic, the Dutch coach of Al Jazira, would have been to really go at this Al Wahda side early in the second half. Jose Moraes will probably have said to his side, keep it tight, keep it compact, let's keep our lead intact. And that's a free kick for Vinicius Melo after he was clipped by Dusan Tadic, right in front of the referee actually. So a free kick in a dangerous position at the beginning of this second half. You with me, Joe Morrison, live this Wednesday night, match day 5 of the Adnoc Pro League on AbuDhabi Sports, the capital derby. We are here in downtown Abu Dhabi on this very windy, blustery night. You can see the shirts of the players blowing in the breeze. It's a 2-man wall for Mohamed Al Shamsi. Tadic, who committed the foul, he's one of them. I think Ruben Felipe is the other. Abdullah Ramadan has got one hand in the air. Is he going to take it, or is it going to be Vinicius Melo? It's Bruno Oliveira. And a long-range effort from Mohamedou Koulibaly, rising over the crossbar of Mohamed Al Shamsi. Couldn't keep it down. In fact, the breeze is swirling inside this Mohammed bin Zayed Stadium. It's a very tall stadium and enclosed on all four sides, which means that there's no real consistency to the wind as it swirls around here. So we've seen one or two balls in the air go awry. We also saw at half-time the jugglers were struggling with their what are they called? Facundo Krupski is limping, but and Omar Kabin is limping as well. So two of Wahda's offensive players struggling at the moment. Facundo Krupski is the biggest worry. He can barely run, and he's trying to get back at the moment, the Argentinian. But he's really struggling. Jazira with a bit of possession. Koulibaly, his ball over the top. Bruno Oliveira wins the throw. Skittles? Batons? Is that what you call those juggling things? I don't know, I'm not a juggler. 49 minutes gone. And that is a wasted throw from Mohamed Rabil. Deep in thought, Marino Pusic, the Dutchman. He was actually born in Croatia, was Marino Pusic. Joined this summer from Shakhtar Donetsk. He was assistant coach at Feyenoord for a spell. Also coached FC 20 in Holland. And players going down all over. There's a little bit of handbags here, a bit of pushing and shoving. You wouldn't expect anything less in a derby game, would you? Oh, a real sandwich. And there you see, it's the elbow, I think, in the face of William Roca that he has taken offense to. And also as well, Abdullah Ramadan has taken a whack. And I think that's why they're a little bit aggrieved. The Turkish referee, Mr. Sedar Uzabuyuk, has had to intervene. Ali Kasheif has been shown a yellow card. He intervened in his capacity as captain, so I'm not sure why he was shown the yellow. Ali Kasheif, he's entitled to get involved. Maybe he was too involved. It's maybe the observation of the Turkish referee, but either way, Jazira still have a man down on the field who is being heavily strapped whilst all this is going on by the medical staff. And there you go. Is William Roca going to get a yellow as well? Who else is going to get a yellow? Abdullah Ramadan, I think, is going to get a yellow as well. It's Abdullah Ramadan who was getting strapped up by the medical team. And there you see Mohamed Govani has also received a yellow. Now, how many yellows is that? I've lost count. So Ali Kasheif, he's gone in the book of the Turkish referee. I think the Turkish referee is busy having a tot-up as well. He's telling Mamadou Koulibaly to go away whilst he gathers his thoughts. I think he's dished out so many yellows, he's trying to remember them all. So, where were we before that little melee. Dusan Tadic was sent to the sideline because he received a bit of treatment. He was trying to stay on the field of play. Abdullah Ramadan has also been sent to the sideline. So both teams temporarily down to 10 men. Now, what are we going to have? Is it a drop ball? The Turkish referee, yeah, he's going to drop the ball for Al Jazira to get us going again. So, bit of drama here at the Mohammed bin Zayed Stadium. And we're back underway. I didn't see which leg exactly that Abdullah Ramadan was getting heavily strapped by the Jazira doctor. There is Willian Roca. So, Al Wahda still have their lead intact. And if they keep it intact and take all 3 points, come the final whistle, they would go top of the table. That's a yellow for, is it Abdullah Ramadan? I think he's received a yellow as well. I'm starting to lose track of these yellows. Or is the yellow for Koulibaly? Or Richard O'Connor? I think it's Richard O'Connor. Yes, there's confirmation, right. So Abdullah Ramadan, for his protest, was not receiving a yellow. It's Richard O'Connor who's got the yellow. Still with me? Free kick to Wahda. It's got a little bit scrappy at the beginning of this second half. 55 minutes gone. Al-Azia. Well, they will be going out to frustrate now, Al Wahda. They still lead by that goal deep in injury time at the end of the first half, that own goal. Ball eventually comes in from Krupski, and KO's header is high and wide. Didn't really get any purchase properly on it. It was out of control, wasn't it, from the Brazilian? So Ali Kashif, who in all of that drama picked up a yellow card. He has to be a little bit careful. Here's Adele. Oh, wonderful. O'Connor, who goes down in the penalty box, but it's been given as a corner. KO it was, who tracked all the way back with a timely intervention and punched the air in front of the travelling fans. That's a centre-back's challenge, that, from the Brazilian. A super tackle. And you can understand why KO was so pumped. O'Connor, I think, has been hurt in that challenge. He's still down, and the medical staff are now coming onto the field. I didn't see anything wrong with the challenge by KO, but the Brazilian forward was the last person I was expecting to be back there with a timely tackle. This was the goal at the end of the first half. Ali Kashif spilling it. Omar Kabin's shot goal was deflected in off the trailing leg of the forlorn Ravil Tagia. Mohammed Al-Shamsi at the other end was a spectator. So, corner kick on that far side for Jazira. Bit of pushing and shoving in the area. Ball comes in. We'll get another go at it. Mohamed Rabil recycles for Jazira. Here is Abdullah Ramadan. Al-Wahda under a spell of continuous pressure right now as we head slowly towards the 60-minute mark. Not sure what Abdullah Ramadan was doing there. Richard O'Connor's just able to get back and keep the ball in play. Maybe it was a little bit of a miss hit, but you have to give the players out there the benefit of the doubt tonight because of that swirling breeze inside the stadium here, the Mohammed bin Zayed Stadium. We are live this Wednesday night from the capital, Abu Dhabi. Oh, Adele, has that gone behind? I think it did. It's going to be a goal kick, much to the delight of the travelling support behind Mohammed Al-Shamsi's goal. I think they called it out before it even got near the byline. But KO again, back doing defensive duties. He's acting almost as a defensive midfielder at the moment. KO Canedo, rather than a winger. Mohammed Al-Shamsi and his team will be relieved to just get a little bit of respite. That's fallen nicely for Omar Kabin, but he was caught in a Jazira sandwich. And it's going to be a corner. Corner to Al-Wahda on that far side. We've crossed the hour mark. Remember, the goal at the end of the first half came initially from a corner. Can Al-Wahda repeat the feat? Kea's over there acting as a receiver. And he eventually runs away. They're not going to take the little short one after all. Instead, it's long to the back post. And that's going to be a goal kick. Al-Azir, Lucas Pimenta were both at that back post, as was Mohamed Rasool. So, as things stand, Al-Wahda are top of the Adnoc Pro League table. Remember, Alain, Shabab Al Ali, their games are still to come. Tomorrow, Shabab Al Ali are in action against Alain. That's the big game tomorrow night, Thursday, in the earlier kickoff. 5:25 p.m. Omar Kabin goes down holding his back. It's going to be a foul and a free kick to Al-Wahda. Anything that alleviates a little bit of pressure on Wahda. That's smart by the Wahda captain. Knows exactly what he's doing, doesn't need medical attention, so therefore doesn't need to go to the sideline. Thinking all the time, the 31-year-old Syrian. He actually started his career at Wahda, a different Wahda, Damascus, Wahda Damascus. Also spent time at Al Hilal in Saudi. He was actually the top scorer in the 24-25, I beg your pardon, the 23-24 season. Sorry, the 24-25 season. Here's KO. Long ball that Ruben Felipe does well to keep alive. Here is Kabin. Wahda still on the front foot. Guga wins the throw. It'll be Guga Oliveira to take it. He joined last summer. Now, here they come. Eventually cleared away. Vinicius Melo. Look how deep he is. All alone. Just struggling in that offensive third, Al Jazira tonight. Mohamed Rasool. Al-Azia. And Wahda will be more than happy to keep possession, force Al Jazira to come on to them. Maybe a hole or two will open up. Here's Guga. Can he get the cross in? He does, sort of. Can't pick out Dusan Tadic, though. And that'll be a throw to Jazira. KO is everywhere on this field in the second half. He's like a man possessed, the Brazilian. Maybe he's got a point to prove after being deemed surplus to requirements at Al Wassel and let go this summer. Koulibaly, Abdullah Ramadan. Here's Mohamed Rabil with an early cross. Fabulous defensive header from Al-Azia. At what point will either of the coaches, Jose Moraes or Marino Pusic, opt to make changes? We always see changes usually around the hour mark, but it's Wahda with that one-goal advantage. The Ravil Tagir own goal in stoppage time at the end of the first half, which means it's really Jazira who are going to be forced into rolling the dice first, I would imagine. Marino Pusic is right on the edge of his technical area. I saw it at half-time. I saw Yusuf Ahmed and JD Goossens warming up alone during the half-time break, and I thought they might have been introduced at the beginning of the second half, but nothing came of it. That ball goes over everyone's heads. So no movement that I can see in either dugout in front of me, so both coaches opting to keep their powder dry right now. I mean, obviously Marino Pusic was forced into that early substitution when Mohamed Elneny went off with what looks like a pretty serious hamstring injury. But that was an enforced substitution rather than a tactical substitution. Khalifa came on in his place. Koulibaly trying to pick out a pass for Mohamed Rabil. Oh, that's wonderful. The fullback goes to ground. Play on, says the Turkish referee, Ruben Felipe. He's going to get the throw. There's confirmation of a yellow card for Abdullah Ramadan. And that's for that tug of the shirt on Al-Azir. So he does eventually go in the book, Abdullah Ramadan. Not for the incident that I thought he was going to go in the book for. An unnecessary yellow for the 27-year-old Emirati. He's actually bagged a goal this season, has Abdullah Ramadan. Nothing so far tonight, though. Marino Pusic, when is he going to play a card or two or three? The Jazira subs are jogging up and down away to my left-hand side on the touchline. You can probably just see them in the bottom left of your screen. So they are doing their stretches and warming up, but no indication as yet as to who, if any, are going to come on in the immediate future. As the clock ticks away, we're heading towards the 70-minute mark, so will this be 20 minutes plus of this game to be played? A lovely little 1-2, trying to pick out Omar Kabin, and KO can't control it, the Brazilian. A little apology from him to Dusan Tadic. I think Tadic was hoping for a pass. There's no doubt that Jose Moraes, the Portuguese boss of Wahda, will want a 2-goal cushion before he can relax. Felipe falls nicely. Flag's gone up on that far side, though. Omar Kabin, the judge to have strayed off. The Turkish referee, Mr. Serdar Gozu Buyuk. And here is going to be the first change, the first tactical change anyway, for Marino Pusic. Simon Banza has been ready to come on. There's another yellow card, this time for Guga. Yeah, that makes sense, and it's like for like for Al Jazira. I beg your pardon, it's not like for like. Richard O'Connor has been sacrificed. He's coming off, so the fullback, and in his place Simon Banza is coming on. So Banza will go straight up front alongside Vinicius Melo. So let me just have a quick check to see who's dropped back into that full-back position. Is it Koulibaly? Perhaps. I'll confirm that in just a second. Meanwhile, Rabiel looking for the ball, didn't come his way. Bruno Oliveira has been passed. Here's Kabin driving into central midfield. Mohamed Rasool. Ruben Felipe, lovely turn by Tadic. The ball comes in, and Krupski tried something spectacular, but it didn't come off. It's going to be a free kick on the far side, though. A clumsy challenge. He was going for the overhead kick, wasn't he, the Argentinian? Facundo Krupski. Koulibaly with the foul on that far side on KO has given Wahda a free kick, which they'll be in no hurry to take. Got nowhere near it. Yeah, it's clumsy from Mamadou Koulibaly. I think it's Koulibaly who has slotted into that left-back position after the departure of Richard O'Connor. KO is standing over it. Ali Kashaif issuing some instructions to his defensive setup. Tadic is also standing over this ball, so is it going to be the left foot of the Serbian Dusan Tadic or the right foot of the Brazilian KO? It's Tadic who's putting his arm up. Tadic delivers straight into the hands of Ali Kashif. Who launches that downfield towards Ibrahim Adel. So the front three for Al Jazira now consists of Banza in the middle as the point man, and Vinicius Melo is off to his right. Here is Banza with his first touch. Melo, who goes down at the edge of the D, and that's going to be a free kick in a dangerous position for Wahda. The initial challenge was Al-Azir. The foul, however, was Lucas Pimenta. Al-Azir made no contact, and Vinicius Melo did well to protect the ball and to win the foul. There's a bit of pushing and shoving going on here. I think Lucas Pimenta is just trying to prevent the quick free kick. The Turkish referee wants the nonsense to stop. Oh, don't you just love a derby? Match day 5 of the Adnoc Pro League this Wednesday night. The big game of the evening. 2 more big games coming tomorrow night. The early kickoff, the aforementioned Shabab Al Ali playing host to Al Ain. Al Ain will be hoping to go back top of the Adnoc Pro League table, which they can do, as can Shabab Al Ali. They're equal on 10 points apiece going into that fixture tomorrow. And also tomorrow, Al Wasl playing host to Sharjah. That's the late kickoff. So, who's going to take this? Abdullah Ramadan is standing over. Bruno Oliveira, left foot, right foot. It's just outside the edge of the D. Ruben Felipe, I think, is lying down on the ground. There you see him, acting as the draft excluder. A 4-man wall for Mohamed Al Shamsi. What happens here? Abdullah Ramadan! That was collected with glee by the away support behind Mohamed Al Shamsi's goal. I doubt if that ball is coming back. They cheered that off-target free kick. Almost the same as the goal at the end of the first half. It's the cooling break. Time for a quick drink on this hot, blustery Wednesday evening. I'll check and see if the temperature's dropped any. 33 degrees, so it has dropped a couple of degrees since kickoff. So still time, an Arsenal shirt. I think there need to be some compulsory ejections from the stands if you're wearing anything other than the maroon of Wahda or the white of Al Jazira. Under 15 minutes remaining here at the Mohammed bin Zayed Stadium. Al Jazira with a much better possession start than we saw in the first half. What was it, 43%? So they've dominated a little bit more in this second half, Marino Pusic's side. Wahda, however, you have to say, with that 1-goal lead from the first 45 minutes, are more than happy to sit back a little bit more and allow Jazira to play in front of them. There's the tale of the 2-10s. Dusan Tadic, the Serbian, and Ibrahim Adel, the Egyptian. Ibrahim Adel, who joined from Pyramids FC this summer. it will be Mohamed Al Shamsi who gets things underway after the drinks break. Still no changes that look like they're coming from Al Wahda. Oh, I beg your pardon, I take that back. There are two players who are being prepped down on the bench and receiving some tactical instruction. So a double substitution looks like it may be coming for Jose Moraes. As we head towards the final 10 minutes of this match, there will be a bit of stoppage time to be added on, of course, for not only the substitutions but the drinks break as well. Luciano Rivera and Brahim Diarra look like they're being ready to come on, but they're going to have to wait for a break in play. Thumped into the stands by Lucas Pimenta. Quickly taken the throw. Here's Koulibaly. Ramadan thought about the shot. Jazira with a spell of pressure here at the moment. That's a good ball for Banza. Palmed away by Mohamed Al Shamsi, but he's lost it. And this is anybody's right now, and eventually Mohamed Al Shamsi a moment of worry for the travelling support behind Mohamed Al Shamsi's goal. He dealt with the initial effort from Banza quite well, but the follow-up was a little bit sloppy from the Al Wahda keeper. Palmed the first one away, went after Vinicius Melo, and then was out of position. That could have cost Wahda. But shoved Ruben Felipe out the way to make sure the ball was his. So we are now going to see the double substitution from Jose Moraes, who is, as you can see there, giving two of his other players some instruction. Are the subs going to come on? Is Guga going off? No, KO, it seems, is coming off, and Geronimo Rivera coming on. And yes, it is Guga who's coming off, and Brahim Diarra coming on for the Portuguese fullback. And I think it's like for like. I'll just double check. Looks like Diarra has slotted into that right back position. Fresh legs there. Bruno Oliveira trying to pick out Vinicius Melo, but needs to reset his radar. Bruno Oliveira. Just over 8 minutes of normal time remaining. There will be stoppage time, like I said, to be added on. William Roca trying to pick a pass, which he now does, but it's Banza coming very, very deep to pick up that ball. Now, very clever from Mohamed Al Shamsi. Looked like he was going to collect that ball and let it go behind, so he can burn a few more seconds of time. Round of applause as Guga and KO walk past the travelling support, who are in full voice at the moment behind that goal away to my right, Mohammed Al-Shamsi. He's currently occupying it. Kabin chasing that ball down. Ali Kashif clears it towards the halfway line. Vinicius Melo wins the throw. And he wants to take it quickly, Vinicius Melo, but I think he's changed his mind. He's going to leave it for Rabil. So, is there a twist in the tail of this capital derby? Can Wahda get that cushion of a second goal, or will Jazira grab an equaliser? Just a reminder, like I said at the beginning of this match, both fixtures, home and away, for these two sides last season ended in draws. One was a goalless draw. So that's recent form. And I imagine that Jose Moraes will have emphasised to the Wahda players that this must be their solitary focus, this capital derby. They can't think about that game against Tractor of Iran in the Asian Champions League Elite Series next Monday night. That ball whipped in again, cleared by Al-Azir. They got that Asian Champions League elite spot by virtue of finishing third place last season and Sharjah winning the ACL 2, which got them automatic spot in the elite as well. Vinicius, his shot blocked. Omar Kabin goes down, and that will just alleviate a little bit of pressure on Wahda. Marino Pusic, he wants his side to really go for the jugular, and you can see there him giving instructions to push up. So normally the top two sides in the Adnoc Pro League get entry into the Champions League Elite, but like I said, because Sharjah won the Champions League 2 competition last season, they were given direct entry into this season's ACL Elite, which meant there was a third place up for grab, a third spot up for grabs, which was taken by third place Wahda. The last time the Maroons won the league was all the way back in 2010. Diarra living a little bit dangerously. Banza was loitering in front of Mohammed Al-Shamsi. Did well, Al-Shamsi, to snuff out that danger. The win probability as we head towards the 90 minutes, clearly in favour of Al Wahda, which makes sense right now. That could all change, though. Rocker. Nabil Tagir, who was unfortunate enough to deflect the ball into the back of his own net. And that ball, can Melo keep it alive? No, he can't. Much to the joy of the away fans behind that goal. They're cheering everything. We're going to see a double substitution for Jazira. Mohamed Rabil coming off. Also coming on is Kofi Dampel. Marino Pusic, I think, is having a little bit of a reshuffle here. First touch of the ball for Kofi Danpel. Play on, says the referee. That's a fabulous ball by Omar Kabir. An opportunity goes just wide. Rivera dragging his shot just past the right-hand upright of Ali Kashif, but here come Wahda again. Here comes Rivera again. Into the final 2 minutes here at the Mohammed bin Zayed Stadium in the capital, Abu Dhabi. Vinicius Melo skips the challenge of Felipe, and that's a fabulous ball across the face of goal. And there's an appeal for a handball. The referee, the Turkish referee, has pointed to the spot. The Wahda fans behind that goal can't believe it. I imagine this will go upstairs. Was there a handball in there? Who did it belong to? And it is Mamadou Ndia, who's only been on the field of play a mere seconds. The Turkish referee is pulling out his cards. He's gone over to consult with his assistant on this near side. But late-stage drama here in the capital for this derby clash. It was a fabulous cross, but was it a foul on Mamadou Ndia? Or was there a handball by one of the Jazira players? Diarra it was, with a little shove in the back of the substitute. Was there a handball in the build-up to that? Well, not from that angle, it doesn't look like. Did Mamadou Ndia himself touch the ball? Disbelief in the away end. Celebrations on that far side here. Has the decision been overturned? Well, the celebrations are going on behind Mohamed Al Shamsi's goal, which seemed to indicate that the referee and his assistant has indeed overturned the initial decision, which was a penalty to Al Jazira. Late drama. Let's have another look at it. It was a fabulous ball from Vinicius. Did Mamadou Ndia touch that ball with his fingers? He looked like he stretched out a hand with that intent, but whether he actually touched it or not will be debated long into the night, as Vinicius Melo gets a yellow card for dissent. So the Turkish referee with a big call at the end of this game. And whilst all that drama's been going on, I still don't know how many minutes have been added on. Obviously, the fourth official will have had to wait for how long it would take for that all to play out. 6 minutes have been confirmed. We've already had 2 of them. 4 minutes for Wahda to hold on. 4 minutes for Jazira to grab an equaliser. 4 minutes for one of these sides to go top of the table, potentially. 4 minutes for it all to finish as you were in the Adnoc Pro League. There's confirmation of the substitutions whilst all that was going on. I'd almost forgotten. Bruno Oliveira. came off. And I think at every opportunity, this ball is going to be going into that box. Play on, says the referee. He's told Abdullah Ramadan to get up. Feels it was a legitimate challenge. Is there a counter here? Or is Omar Kabin going to take it to the corner? It's kept alive. Rivera, Tadic. Nothing comes of it. And it's a counter. As Adel is brought down on the halfway line, I think there's going to be another yellow card as well as another substitution. Omar Kabin has been taken off for the fresh legs of Mobin. Pushing and shoving. Omar Kabin is trying to give the captain's armband to whoever to whoever is furthest away from him on the field. Anything to hold on to this lead. And Mohammed Al Shamsi has gone down, holding his thigh. That'll eat up a few more seconds. The Turkish referee is indicating that, look, I'm adding all of this time on, but it never works out like that, does it? 4 minutes of the 6 that have been added are done. 2 minutes remaining. Let's have another look at this. Did Mamadou Ndiaye get fingertips to this ball as he was fouled by Diarra? I just don't know. The challenge was clumsy, which is why the Turkish referee pointed to the spot. How many angles do we need to decide whether Mamadou Ndiaye touched the ball? That is the best we're probably going to get, and I'm still not 100% convinced. Marino Pusic was definitely convinced that it was a penalty. He couldn't believe when the decision was overturned after the Turkish referee consulted with his assistant. We've got a minute of stoppage time remaining. Another ball gets floated into that Wahda area. Krupski acting as a wing-back. Koulibaly. Everyone is camped on the edge of the penalty box. Koulibaly launches it in there again. Shamsi thought about it. It's going to be a throw to Wahda. And there's going to be another change. Facundo Krupski is coming off. Again, we'll lead up a little bit of valuable time. We are now over the allotted 6 minutes that were added. Wahda Nasser it is who's coming on for the Argentinian. Just seen Ruben Felipe get some instruction. I think they want a little bit of a change. It looks like Wahda Nasser has been asked to go into the left-back role, and Ruben Felipe acting as a defensive midfielder. The fairy lights are out in the away end. There can't be long left now. The Turkish referee has already had one little glance at his watch. He's just had another. As we head towards 7 minutes of time added on here at the Mohammed bin Zayed Stadium. Surely they're close now as that ball comes in again. And the follow-up into the 6-yard area is cleared. But the danger's not over yet. Ramadan, it's anybody's right now. Hold on to your seats. Referee has had another look as it comes in again. It's pinball inside that 6-yard box. Handball by Dusan Tadic. He won't care. Anything to break the rhythm of Jazira. Koulibaly it will be to take this free kick, and there's only one place it's going, back into that Wahda box. Again, a ball floated in, cleared once more, and there goes the final whistle from the Turkish referee. The 3 points belong to the rivals, to the neighbours. A shake of the head from Ali Kashif. It was an own goal in the end by Tagir, an own goal from Al Jazira that gifted the 3 points to the visitors. But the Maroons will leave the Mohammed bin Zayed Stadium as table toppers this Wednesday night. The capital derby with drama at the finish sees Al Wahda run out winners by 1-0 against their rivals and neighbours, Al Jazira. More to come, match day 5 tomorrow night and Friday here in the Adnoc Pro League. From me, Joe Morrison, from the capital, a very good night.
There you go then, just about hanging on, but Al Wahda are now top of the Adnoc Pro League, a point ahead of everybody else. As of tonight anyway, the decisive moment really was in the 47th minute of the first half. A couple of minutes added on in the first half. Ravel Tagir unfortunately turning the ball into his own net after Omar Kribin's shot. Kribin thought he was going to get officially his 4th of the season, but no. Ravel Tagir, it goes down as an own goal. Al Jazira were knocking on the door, especially at the end in those last few minutes, but couldn't quite get the equaliser. Thought they had a penalty as well. I'm sure we'll be talking about that. But Al Wahda get the 3 points and the Abu Dhabi derby win. Ibrahim, let's get your reaction first. Al Jazira did try there at the end, but Al Wahda stood firm.
Yeah, of course. It was, I would say, a safe victory for Al Wahda. That's what they come into Jazira and they did what they were supposed to do. Great block, great build-up also. And they had many chances. They created many chances, but they were not efficient enough to score them. But as I say before, the good thing, you can see that the discipline that the coach put into the team, they all did their part. They play as a team, and it was not one of their best games, but they end up taking the 3 point there. At the other hand, I think Jazira side, since way before, there's so many ways of Jazira attacking, but one of the main one is to use a lot the wings, and making the crosses to finish. Even when Ali Mabkoud was there, but I think the fact that Simon came into the team, I can see a quality that will be really he can. Improve the offensive line of Al Jazira.
Yeah, well, certainly, obviously, when Simon Banza came on, it offered the thing that we wanted them to offer, but they just couldn't get the crosses to him. He couldn't get the service that he needed.
The good service. I felt like they were trying. Some crosses were coming in, not very good ones. But again, it was just this first 20 minutes with the team. I believe now Jazira obviously is sad because they lost the match, but I also believe that with the return of the players who are injured as we speak, and now with this time in between this match and the next Adnoc Pro League match to work on the team, I think Jazira will come to the upcoming rounds in a better shape than what they are now, because it's an unusual start of the season for them. And of course, Al Wahda took advantage of that somehow.
So they are now top of the table, Al Wahda, and still unbeaten this league season as well. And their next game is back in the Asian Champions League Elite. We're now 5 weeks into the league season, and they've played some cup games and Champions League Elite games. What are you making of this Al Wahda team now? have to be considered title contenders?
You know, Graham, they have next week the Champions League game. I think this game that they did today, physically, I could see that they were ready, and I don't think they will have any problem next week against, especially the way how they played in block and the discipline into the team was there, and I felt like also Jazira didn't take that responsibility, the character to go look for the 3 points, because they tried, but it was not enough. You have to do more than that. For example, a player like Ibrahim Adel, a lot of qualities, but always asking the ball into the leg to go 1v1. I think if you use a lot also running into the space, receiving the ball and making the crosses, that can help also. So we saw a lot of static, how to call that, like the ball is not moving. It's good to have a great ball possession, but if you don't have the wings that can go for the finishing, of course it will be a problem. And Wahda, they knew that they could stay in block, try to close the side, but it would have been better for Jazira to put the wings that they can go. Even if you take before last season, Traore, very, very active on the right wing. So this is the style of Al Jazira, but today we didn't see that.
And we're talking about the struggles that Al Jazira were having to try and create golden opportunities, but we do have to credit Al Wahda's back line there. We were watching them, they were so well structured and very rarely out of position in defence.
I would credit the whole team. Again, Al Wahda only conceded 2 goals in the last round against Dhafra in the 5-2 win. A very solid team defensively. Of course, the back line mainly. I like a lot both Lucas Pimenta and Ala Zahir. With the 2 full-backs, mostly Ruben, who are very attacking minded, but at the same time manage to keep somehow the balance, at least in the ground duels. They might struggle a little bit with the aerial duels, but for that reason they have Lucas Pimenta and Ala Zahir on the box, and then the help of Jadson and Mohamed in front of them will help a lot also to keep this unit of 6, within the front 4 coming back and forth as much as they can. And as I was expecting in the second half, they dropped a little bit on the pitch. They took a little bit the foot off the gas, and they waited a little bit for Jazira. And of course, Jazira, as Ibrahim was saying, Jazira has this style of having the possession and keeping the ball running around and trying to play feet on feet. But the problem is sometimes you need to pass the ball into the space to try to stretch your opponent, to try to create the diversity in terms of the way you attack your opponent's last line. That was something that fell a little bit tonight on Jazira. But as I said before, it's a new period coming in, and I think they will be able to do better, and they will be able to compete, I think.
Because you look at that second half for Al Jazira, it wasn't really until the last 5-10 minutes that they really started to attack Wahda's goal. They had another 40 minutes before that where, you know, we were going, well, where's the purpose here? Where's the direction?
Yes, obviously, because they knew that they're losing the 3 points. So you have to give the last effort. But the last effort, you don't give it in the last 5 minutes or last 10 minutes. You have to do it from the beginning of the game.
Just 1 second, Ibrahim. I think we can go over for our first visit back to Amy Gillingham at the Mohammed bin Zayed Stadium. Amy, she's got some reaction for us there.
Thanks, Graham. Dusan Tadic, first of all, welcome to the UAE. Your first Abu Dhabi derby. How was it out there?
Yes, it was very nice. You know, it's nice to play derby matches and to play all matches, but especially derby matches. They're special. And most important that we get a victory.
So you came from Fenerbahce, obviously under the hands of Jose Mourinho. You're now under the hands of Jose Moraes, who was an assistant manager under Jose Mourinho at many different clubs. Do you feel that he's got a similar strategy?
Yeah, definitely. You can see they used to work together, and they have a great relationship. And before I came, Jose also told me that Jose Moraes is a great trainer and great person. And yeah, I think Jose Mourinho is one of the best coaches, and Jose Moraes was working with him, and definitely they have a lot of things together.
And in the game tonight, did it feel a little bit more intense than perhaps the first opening games of the season?
No, actually weather was good, to play football was more easy to play because last couple of weeks we have difficulties with weather, it's difficult to make tempo in the game. This game was a little bit, when we score one goal, we were a little bit more careful because we defend the result and we defend with everything, and in the end we get a result, what is most important.
Well, it was brilliant to see you out there tonight, and we wish you all the best for the rest of the season. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Back to you, Graham.
Big stuff. Amy Gillingham there live for us at the Mohammed bin Zayed Stadium. Pedro, we've got to let you react to that. A lot of talk about your Portuguese compatriots there. The two Joses, and he's making very clear connections between the two of them.
Definitely in the way, for example, the way Wahda is a compact team as we speak, has a lot to do with the way Mourinho approaches.
I'm going to break into your
no problem.
Portuguese discussion. We're going to go straight. I promise we'll come back, Pedro. We're going to go straight back to Amy.
Sorry, Pedro. Players coming in thick and fast. Ravel, it was a difficult game out there tonight. I mean, the goal was very unfortunate, of course. But how was your first taste of the capital derby?
I think it was we knew that it was going to be a tough game, really difficult game. We were ready to fight. I think we fought until the end. We did our job, but it was a pity, like you said, it was unlucky goal against us. But we didn't give any other chances. I don't think that. But we gave everything to win. It was unlucky, as I said. We had the chances, but we couldn't finish it. So we're going to keep on going. We're going to keep work hard, and then we're going to see in the rest of the season.
So in the opening few minutes, obviously El Neni was sent off with an injury. Do you feel that that made a bit of a gap in the midfield in terms of the transition from midfield to offensive play?
Yeah, actually, I think every player can do everything for the team. I think nothing can change when somebody goes out. There was no problem, but of course it changed a little bit. But then Khalifa, he adapted very quick, and then we tried our best. But this is football. You can go out in the 5th minute, you can go out in the 19th minute. We need to adapt in every situation. And I think we did, but it was unlucky. We had to win this game.
It was an important game, but just looking at tonight's performance, what do you feel you need to do differently going into next game? Of course, there's going to be an international break, but when you come back, what do you feel the changes that are needed to be made?
I think we need to focus on maybe finishing. But we had our chances, but we need to finish. We need to kill the game early. In defense also, we did, I think, good, but we can always improve. We're going to keep on going, like I said, as finishing maybe. But we're going to work. Now, this is football. You can score, you can concede. This is football, as I said. We're going to keep on going.
Well, there was only one goal in it. Of course, it's going to be a disappointment, but we've got to turn things around for the next game, and we wish you all the best for the rest of the season. Thank you so much. Thank you. Back to you, Graham.
Wonderful stuff. Thank you, Amy. Kudos to Ravel Tagir as well. He scored the own goal in that game, but he still has the character to come out and speak to the media straight after that. That's very impressive from the young man there. Pedro, do you want to finish talking about Portugal? But also, let's also move that into what Ravel was just saying there. As I'm saying, to show the characters to come out and do the media interviews shows a lot about the team, actually, doesn't it? That, yes, we didn't win the match today, but we want to show that we have the strength and we have the team ethic to get past this very quickly.
Jazira is a team, or a squad, even better said, with lots of interesting young talent. Ravil, for example, is a Turkish youth international, a left-footed central defender. So there is also a concern about having a left-footed central defender, which will help in terms of the build-up from the back. So symmetry is coming into play also when choosing players. And in this case, he also, as you said, and I agree with you, he has shown good character, even though, okay, he was in that unfortunate moment of the game. But in the overall, he had a good match. I feel like both teams, and Ravil mentioned that, I feel both teams lacked a little bit of being more objective in the last third. Both teams. This is something in terms of efficiency that they need to improve, because it was not that kind of match that was only played in the midfield. We had many approaches from both sides, a little bit more, of course, Wahda mostly in the first half. but we have approaches. We had some shots, but barely shots on target, barely clear-cut chances. So this is something that both teams will have to improve. Of course, more Jazira because they were in the losing end. I still feel like Wahda, whenever they have the space, they will be very dangerous or even deadly. Whenever they don't have the space, whenever they will be playing against lower blocks, compact sides, imagine like Kalba. Kalba's match is a good example. They might tend to struggle a little bit. I still feel, and I said this yesterday on Final Score, I still feel like Wahda would be better if they had on the squad, I'm not mentioning in the starting 11, that is different, but on the squad, a different type of striker, like a striker with the characteristics of Simon Banza.
Yeah.
Even to come on from the bench at a certain point to provide the aerial dominance, to provide the physical, the presence inside the box. I think this would be good for Wahda in the future. Aside from that, defensively, as I was saying, we can see already that they are compact, balanced, and capable of defending their own goal quite well.
And Ibrahim, listening to Ravil there, you know, for him, he recognised what Jazira didn't manage to do today. I wonder if the early loss of Mohamed El Neni was a big factor in why it didn't quite gel for the rest of the game. But obviously, Ravil Tagir, he can see what hasn't happened right. So they know Al Jazira, they know what they're talking about tonight. They know what mistakes they have to put right.
Exactly. It was clear what he said there. And he said they couldn't finish the action. They created some chances, but they couldn't finish the action. But I would like to highlight and come back to on the last two games of Jazira. First, against Al Nasser, when they did 0-0, but you remember I said that it was one of the best games.
Great game, yeah.
Because the offense, the way out they were attacking, all constantly from the wings and receiving the balls. And it's good to have a great ball possession, like you keep from side to side. But the moment when you cannot finish the action, it becomes a bit boring. I want to use my word carefully, but that's what happened. I think they had a great control. If you check the statistic, probably they have the best ball possession in that game. But it was not enough because even if you see the wings, they're all standing to try to receive the ball in the leg, then go forward. But it's important. If you see the game of against Benyas, how a couple of goals they were scored, Melo, how he scored, cross from the right side from Rabi, and the finishing.
Yeah.
And this was missing. And I think the coach is just new now. He just took over the team. Probably he will prepare the team well for the next challenges. But one of the strengths of Jazira, we all know, is keeping the ball open on the side, cross, and finishing.
Yeah.
So I think they should not be disappointed at the same time because there is some work to do, especially with the new coach and new tactics, and he's trying to learn more about his players. I'm sure in the break time, he will have enough time to understand which one can be used on the right or the front to go against the challenges.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's take a look then at some of, well, let's take a look at the results that we've had so far. Kalba, who were, up until the end of the game that we've just been doing, they were joint leaders after a brilliant 4-2 win against Corsican. There was red cards, there was extraordinary goals, there was late goals. It was a cracking game at Corsican. And then we've just seen Al Wahda winning the Abu Dhabi derby against Al Jazira. Ravil Tagir's unfortunate own goal sends them to the top of the table by a point, although everybody is still really yet to play. Al Ain and Shabab Al Ahli play each other tomorrow. There's a big game for you. Kalba, as we say, up in 10th. Jazira stay where they are on 7 points, level with Al Wasl and Al Nasser. Down the bottom, still pretty miserable reading for Banias. They play tomorrow against Ajman, who are on 6 points. And Al Dafra also play tomorrow. They play Al Batay. Sharjah, Corsican on 4. Dibba, the other side, who don't have any points to show so far this season. There you go. There's two blockbuster games tomorrow. Shabab Al Ahli at home, the defending champions, against Al Ain. If either side get a win, they will go top. And Al Wasl also at home against Sharjah in the 8:15 kickoff. Then on Friday, Banias, as I say, they're at home against Ajman. At the same time, kicking off is Al Dhafra against Al Batay. And then in the evening, Al Nassr trying to bounce back from their first defeat of the season. They are at home against visitors Dibba, trying to get their first points of the league season. And there you go. Terrific night, terrific entertainment, the Abu Dhabi Derby. Thank you very much, Ibrahim. Thank you very much, Pedro. And of course to Amy Gillingham live for us at the Mohammed bin Zayed Stadium. And for Al Wahda fans, a pleasant evening, a narrow win, but still they find themselves tonight at least top of the Adnoc Pro League table. From everybody here at Abu Dhabi Sports, good night.